Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's been about a week since I've last uploaded a video, and it's been about a week since I've last thrown a disc. So, you know, I caught COVID, I got sick, and I got better. And it's been about a week. I haven't really touched a disc between now and the last game that I had, the last round that I had. And I'm here to play just a regular solo round here at Bayou Bandit. I'm actually moving myself all the way back to hole 1. For those of you that know Bayou Bandit, you typically have to start at hole 4 due to construction in the neighborhood. But I decided I would make this kind of similar to how I might play a tournament round. In fact, that's kind of what I want to do. Although I haven't had the benefit of practice rounds and fine-tuning anything in the last week, or really even attempting drills, much less actually putting or throwing. I'm going to see what I can do. So I'm going to chat about a few things here and then, you know, between the throws and the holes and all that kind of stuff. But no time like the present to just start throwing, and we'll just see how it goes. I've got my trusty FD. I've got it 250 or less feet away from here, and I'm going to see what I can do. I was working on my form, of course, prior to me being sick, and I missed a tournament, but see what I can remember. Well, I did enough right there. Hopefully you can see me okay. I can't think of the last time I've ever been this close to the basket. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to make the putt, but I need to slow down, focus, and at least give this a good college try. Kind of as if I'm in a tournament. So slow down and focus. Stance, grip, line, grip. Oh, that was a little low. Okay, the thing, it's really hard to show on this camera due to the positioning of everything. Basically, I'm going to throw a certain way, but I want to show you there's two ways really to get to this basket. You can throw a sort of either a forehand or a slight anhyzer turnover through here to get over there. You can throw a roller, which I've seen successfully done. You can go more for a sharper, like hyzer if you're doing forehand, or backhand anhyzer if you're going that way, but you're not really getting close to the basket. The most popular route has been going this way and trying to get to the basket about 250 feet away. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to do this, but I'm going to slow it down and try to aim that way and let the disc do the work for me, I guess. I don't think, oh man, I'm way off camera, huh? Let me see if I can roll this thing back. All right, I've moved the camera back. I'm hoping you can see what I'm about to do. I'm going to just try to throw it that way. All right, so I've got a putt. I'm back in the fairway. Okay, so this puts me 25 feet away from the basket. I just stepped it off real quick. I have a low percentage of hitting 25 footers, especially since I haven't really practiced putting the last couple months. I've been attending putting league, but I haven't actually done putting practice beyond that. All right, 25 feet, straight towards the middle. That's what I'm aiming for. Stance, grip, line. Oh my God. Rip. So just to let you know, my best score here ever has been +4. Sean narrowly beat me by a point back then. That was back in the day where we were relatively purists and minimalists in terms of disc golf. We each had like one of those little lunchbox disc golf bags with like 9 or 10 discs or whatever. We basically played this. We didn't have a camera. We just shut up and we just played. I think we did do 2 off the tee and a mulligan per 9 on that one, but regardless, that was our best performance ever. So I'm going to see what I can do. So far, the first 2 holes have been my best 2 performance here. I don't think I've ever birdied 2 holes in a row here on this course. So that's kind of cool, but I'm not going to take it for granted. I am treating this differently than I do a traditional casual round that we throw. I'm trying to treat it like a tournament, spending more time with a mental routine and focusing, whereas I'm more in the moment there. So, all right, I think I'm in frame enough. It's getting a relatively short run up anyways. But my goal is to kind of go, you know, throw it a little bit like that and let it go that way. There's no way I can possibly birdie this, but I can try to get a par. This is a long and convoluted hole for someone like myself. So I'm gonna pick a certain point I want to go towards, focus on that. I pulled it too far to the right. So, all right, this is gonna be a very tough par to get. All right, unfortunately, like it seems nearly every hole on this course, the basket is obscured by something, which is a challenge for me to film, but I'm not really here to do that. I'm here to try to throw. Now I did grip lock that, but it wasn't like a rounding per se. It was like I was trying to do this, but instead of doing this, I went that, and too much like that, and that wasn't my intent. So I've got to rein that in. Okay, let's focus on throwing straight, about 120 feet. There we go, that's what I wanted. Kind of close to the basket, but I can't tell exactly. Okay, I did get closer to the basket than I expected to get, but of course I have an obstruction. This is not an easy putt. This is roughly from here 16, 17 feet. I'm gonna try to do the straddle. So my goal is to, since you have like a paper's width to do whatever, keep your foot within that paper, but stretch, angle it out a little bit like this. And since I have to do, I'm sorry if I block the shot, but this is too time consuming for me to adjust everything. So, make sure you know what, I'm gonna pull it back a little bit. Okay, I'm now like this. All right, stance, grip, line, rip. Okay, I've got a par. That is a legitimate par save for me. This is a very tough hole for me to par. All right, so I guess because I haven't been throwing for a week, maybe I'm in better connection with my throws, notwithstanding the drive off the last tee, or actually grip locked, or whatever. Side note, it's frustrating as someone that works for a living dealing with technical terms that I can't explain anything using technical terms in disc golf because it's the wrong term. And the sport evolved despite or through those terms, and they still mean certain things, even if they don't mean the things originally intended. And it becomes really hard to explain, oh, I grip lock, oh, I didn't do this right in the reach back, or the reach out, or the extension, or the pull through, or the whatever. And it's frustrating that we're all have to force ourselves into another language paradigm that hasn't been fully fleshed out either. But we're so used to saying certain things. And anyways, it's something bad happened. I can't tell you what it is because that term's probably incorrect. Anyways, all right, so now I got to throw straight. I'm going to focus on throwing not necessarily at that tree. Like you see these three trees across the street. There's a tree and then another tree beyond that. I want to try to throw and then have it come down. So let's see, nice and slow and controlled. I actually came around that tree, okay. I think I actually went long of the basket, which is kind of crazy that I was able to do that, but whatever. All right, so this is pretty unfreaking believable for me. I have never gotten this close. So, okay then. All right, it looks like it might rain soon, or at least the wind is really coming through, the skies are darkening a little bit, and this is the moment in time where the highest chances of rain showed in the forecast. Regardless, I have to get over there. I'm gonna use my TL to just get across and let it fit, let the fade kind of pull through towards the basket. My goal here is always to get a par, and that's usually by getting across safely without going into the street, landing in the street, being out of bounds, and then putting yourself close enough where you can make the putt because it's an elevated basket, which is very common on this course. So I'm going to throw it towards a certain spot. Hopefully you guys can see me okay. If not, my apologies. A little too high. Yeah, I'm surprised it stays in bounds. Okay, I'm in bounds, but that was a bad throw on my part. I like every part of that throw, with the exception of the height. I was aiming for there, and I threw too high. Okay, I look to be in frame, so I did get lucky and stay in bounds, but I'm maybe 100 feet away from the basket, which is buried in that tree. So what I'm going to try to do is get my fairway driver. I'll just put it there for right now. All I'm trying to do is throw it close enough. My goal is to throw it to this side of the tree, but my accuracy might not do that, so I need to sit here and focus. Oh, I pulled it to the right. This is basically an instant bogey, unless somehow I land a 30+ foot putt on an elevated basket. Okay, so I'm about 30 feet away. I'm obstructed. The only way to get this thing in the basket from here is to magically hit that tree and have it go in, and hopefully not have it, if it misses, not go too far. But I can guarantee a bogey, quote unquote guarantee a bogey, if I try to put it to like right here, put it in, or if that kind of thing. So I'm gonna play the odds and I'm gonna try to putt it and just take a safe bogey. If I was playing a casual round, I'd run it, but I want to try this. So just want to get it close enough to where I can put that one in. And just so you have a little bit of an appreciation of what this basket looks like, I know we tend to show footage of it from time to time, but you never really get to see what it is. But they did an impressive job here of putting the basket inside this tree. It's definitely a lot more challenging than a typical par 3 of this length would be. And so I'm going to try to put that one in. You get here like this. All right, so we're here at hole 6 and the basket is over there, and somehow we have to throw to get across. And typically the routes are try to get across with the fairway driver, you know, because the low profile and aerodynamic nature will kind of cut it through, right hand, backhand, or you can do the forehand that way or lefty line to get around. That's been very hit or miss for me, so I'm actually going to try a different strategy on this one. I'm going to try the safe play just to get close enough to the street to where I can then try to pitch across and get a par. I'm just not confident enough in my ability to cut through all that and not hit something and go out of bounds. So I'm going to stand up here. I'm going to move the camera, but I'm going to stand up there and then do a standstill throw for about 180 feet. All right, you should be able to see me okay. I'm getting to the edge of the tee pad where people throw. My goal is to just throw the right distance. As long as I can see the other side. All right, I've got to look, but that is farther back and more to the left than I planned. And to be clear, I wouldn't call this bad, but this is not what I wanted. I wanted to be about 20 feet more forward and a little bit more freedom from something like that. So I'm going to stand parallel, have my heel behind that to give me enough room from there. I'm going to try to throw this as close to under the basket as possible. Ooh, I mean, that's largely it, but that's still a putt. All right, so this is about a 15-footer. Not terrible. Probably as good as I should expect. It is elevated, and I need to hit it in such where if I miss, maybe it'll hit that tree. But either way, that it doesn't roll far. So stance, grip, line, rip. Spending that last few seconds dialing that imagery in of what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it, I think has made a lot of difference in this. All right, I have a large card playing in front of me, which is kind of cool. But I'm keeping distance away from them because even though I'm over COVID, the last thing I want to do is, I just want to be on the safe side. All right, so one of the things I did once was to kind of practice that. And if you're ever at a tournament, I would imagine, at least maybe I should do this, is just do a few practice runs to kind of get you an idea of what you want to do. So this hole I need to break in half just because it's too easy for me to go out into the street. So that was a really good throw, but I pulled on it too much to the right. All right, so what I should have done if I was going to intentionally throw that line, I should have used my Champion T-Bird instead of my S-Line FD, because the Champion T-Bird is more stable and it would have flexed better because I threw it on a slide anhyzer, I feel like, and it pulled that way, whereas the Champion T-Bird would have corrected and faded and pushed me out a little bit more that way. Regardless, I'm a good 250 feet away from that basket, maybe a little less. I'm probably a little more than halfway. But my goal is to try to throw this low. Slight hyzer, but low. I am across. Now, if I don't screw that up shot, I should have a par. All right, given where my disc is, I'm not completely obstructed, but I may have to be a little ingenious in terms of how I put this together. This also represents a runnable putt, but given how obstructed that I am, I'm not very optimistic in normal circumstances that I can get this, but I don't know if you can tell, but I am actually, my feet are parallel with the lie relative to that. All right, stance, grip, line, missed the putt. And to be clear, I did not half-ass that putt. I did try to put good effort into it, but I couldn't accurately put it in, so that's fine. Stance, grip, line, grip. So I did get, I hate using the word lucky, but luck did help me on that last hole because I mean, I'm doing my best to try to let skill win the day, but I need all the help I can get. All right, I'm in frame enough. I don't think you're gonna be able to see my feet, unfortunately, but all I'm trying to do is get across the street and not go a B. Oh, that is not good. That's too low. I'm in bounds, but I'm in a bad spot. All right, so again, good news, I made it across, but I'm giving myself a lot of 100-foot upshots, which isn't the best position to be. So we'll go ahead and see what I can do. This is not in my swing path, by the way. All right, lateral, I need to just throw flat about 100 feet. I pulled it too much. Bogeyville. So here's my putter and there's the basket. For this throw to have worked the way I threw it, which is to use grip lock somehow and throw it with anhyzer, I would have had to have used my pig. So basically all I'm gonna do is put this close to the basket so that I can make a putt that way. Don't get me wrong, I'm trying to make this, but I have no illusions of grandeur. But I want the miss to be not long. Stance, grip, line. Did that make it? Oh my God, I saved par. Unbelievable. I mean, I built the line, I threw it to the best of my ability, and I made it. Jesus. All right, so normally I try to do standstill and just rip it across to be safe. I'm gonna try a cross step, but slow and controlled, and see if I can do kind of the same thing. In theory, I'm building, I mean, I wanna play with my form in this kind of situation, but I want to build the form that I'm using, get better with it. So again, I'm gonna try to throw towards the basket, try to throw flattish and lowish, but nice, slow and controlled. And I think I'm just out of frame, or just in frame. Okay. Oh my God, that is close to the basket. This is probably the best throw I've ever made in this hole. All right, so make no mistake, this is the best throw I've ever had on this hole. Hopefully I can dial in this putt okay. All right, focus and everything. All right, stance, grip, line. Oh my God. My hand involuntarily went up like that. I did not intend to do that. I literally just had a birdie attempt. Man, that's disc golf. I was aiming for a specific point in the chains, and my arm just did that. I don't think you can see. Whatever, y'all know. This has been a great round so far. Don't let the missed 10-footer on hole 9 fool you. Also, that bogey on hole 5, I wasn't even thinking about at this point in the round. I've never had any more than 2 birdies in any solo round on this course, and most of the time it's a single birdie, if any. There's been a lot of rounds I've played where I haven't birdied once on this course. So for me, 3 birdies out of the first 4 holes is extraordinary, and it put me in a position to be under par after 9 holes. I hope that you liked the video. Please subscribe if you haven't already, as the back half is coming up next. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.